Hello, you guys. Thank you for tuning in with the Majestic Show. Listen, I blew my hair out. I had to blow it out to see what it looked like. And I look like a chicken head. No. Okay, so the title is What Will Today Bring? What do you believe in? What do you believe that today will bring for you? Anything that you have prayed about, thought about, anything. You got to believe with what? Your full-hearted heart that things will change. Hold on. Oh, you can hear me still. That things will change. Things will go in the way that you expect it to go. But sometimes things don't go as planned. And when I say things don't go as planned, that means you can have dreams and goals and things like that shift. And it might not even be your goal today. It might not even be what you expect to happen today. But when you put your trust in the Most High God and just leave it there, leave your prayers, your trust, your faith. You pray about things. A lot of people pray, and a lot of people think that their situation gonna change overnight in 24 hours, and it don't change. So that's where you give up on your hope. You feel like everything is. You feel like you disconnected with everything that you have planned and your goals and your dreams and your ambitions and things. So you give up on yourself, you give up on God, you give up on life itself. But it's for you to know that I believe in myself. I believe in God. I believe in my abilities to do. I believe in my abilities that God promises each and every one of us things in life. He promises things. But those things you have to be patient, and a lot of people don't have patience, and that's why a lot of people get out of character because they patience is less than. I used to not have patience on things. Like I used to go into like a store and there used to be a long line, or go into the driving license office and it'd be a long line. You know what we say? We say, "Well, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back tomorrow." What's gonna be different than tomorrow than today? So like I had to look at it in a different perspective, where patience. You got to have patience with the Most High God. You have to have patience. So if I have patience, because I think that's very important nowadays. You got to have patience, and then that's one thing that I had to learn in life, that without patience, you're not going to get nowhere. So when you think about going into a driving license office, and it's a whole lot of people in there, it's a whole lot of people in there, and you waiting on your turn, but you never know when is your turn. That's how God works. That's how God works. God works in that way, where we don't know when it's our turn. You know, when it's our turn, that our prayers are being heard. We don't know that, but we have to have patience and wait in that line to be next to be called. You understand what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm saying, say amen. Because it's the truth. We have to know that we got to have more patience. We have to humble ourselves. We got to humble ourselves and have more patience with God, because a lot of people, they fall short from God's glory, because they don't have patience. They don't think that their life can overturn for the good. They always think negative of the worst thing that can happen, and that's what a lot of people think about first. Like, what is it? This is what I'm gonna tell you, what people think. If you go to, just say for instance, you go into a call out, or you want to go get go apply for a home or something. You always say first, you know what you say? What is the worst thing that can happen? That's what we say as humankind. What is the worst thing that can happen? And we already speaking bad luck over ourselves when we say that. If you claim it, if you claim it, then that's gonna be yours. But if you don't claim it and you don't claim it and you already speaking negative about the situation, then it's gonna be a negative outcome because you're speaking death into that situation. You understand what I'm saying? You're speaking death into that situation. So for you to say, out your mouth that, okay, well, I didn't apply for this and I know I got bad credit, but I know I'm probably not gonna get it, and it's probably not gonna happen for me. You're speaking death into that situation. You have to turn your perspective around and say, you know what? I'm gonna get this because I deserve this. You have to speak life into yourself. You have to say, I deserve this. I deserve this opportunity. I deserve this chance to get something that I prayed for. You understand? But a lot of people speak death over something, or be discouraged on certain things that will happen if you pray and let God fix that situation and handle that situation. Then things will turn in a different way for you. But we don't think that way as humankind. We don't think that way. Only thing we think about is the bad outcome. That's what we think about, the bad outcome. Everything bad. You have to change the way of you have to change your thinking process. Because if you don't change your thinking process, you're gonna always feel like you disconnected with your higher self. You're gonna always feel disconnected with what you believe in, or what you can feel disconnected in, that I don't deserve this. You're gonna feel like you're lost. You're a lost sauce. You understand what I'm saying? So always remember that you is the one that can speak life and death into yourself. I know.
Power off.
So I'm in my phone charge up. Let's see how this charger do. But yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to speak life into yourself, no matter what your life looks like, whatever it is. And if you like, my thing is, like, when you're struggling on certain points in life, who do you lean on? Who do you lean on? And I'm gonna tell you this. Just like how people can follow Satan and they can follow God. Satan Satan wants you to kill, steal, and destroy yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is negative thinking that he wants you to have in your mind, because he wants you to destroy yourself. And I'm just gonna say it like this, because he don't give a damn about you. He just wants you in his kingdom. That's it. God wants you to have patience and put all of your faith in him. Put your faith and trust in him. That's why I say trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. So how do you trust? With your heart. Because God knows each and every one of our hearts. He knows that. He knows our heart. So therefore, when you put your trust in him, you put your trust in your faith in him, he make it come to he will make it come to pass, but on his timing and his perfect timing. God timing is perfect. Our timing is messed up. Because we think that we have to get this urge of need at that present time. But if you put your prayers in the Most High God hands and let Him deal with that situation the best way that He can, and study on your own understanding, He'll fix it for you. He'll make it. He'll make it. He'll make it where you'll understand that He's working in your life, and you just gotta sit down and you gotta listen, and you have to be obedient. You have to be obedient, not disobedient. Because when you pray for something and then you start asking him and you start questioning him, he gonna say like, where's the trust that you have for me? Where's your faith at? my child? Where's your faith at? Because if you have to question me, you have to wonder what I'm doing behind the scenes for you, then you ain't trusting and having faith. If you have to question it. So every problem that we have in life and every experience that we go through in life, he just wants you to know that, are you gonna lean on me? Or are you gonna lean on mankind? Or are you gonna lean on Satan? Because Satan is there in our lives to kill, steal, and destroy. That's what Satan is there for. So therefore, if I don't want my life to be killed, steal, and destroyed, then I know that what I need to do in life is put my trust in the Most High God instead of putting it in mankind. Okay, so you just got to understand. So it says, "What will today bring?" Who knows what today might bring? Who knows that? Don't nobody know that. You can say all day long, "Well, I got a phone call yesterday, and I had some good news," but and see how do you see how I said but they ain't calling yet, and they ain't telling me they supposed to call me today and tell me that when I'm supposed to be starting this position or this and that, but they haven't called. That's the same thing how you wait on your prayers to be answered from the Most High God. You heard good news. You heard good news yesterday, but you wait on this phone call, the second phone call that you actually need to succeed in whatever you're doing. That's why it's called patience. And a lot of folks don't have patience because they get discouraged when they don't hear, when they don't listen to what I'm telling you, when they don't hear from God on the right time. So think about that phone call, that second phone call that you need to get this position. Think about that second phone call that you need to get this position. That second phone call. But ain't nobody calling you yet. Same way with God. That's how God works. But you so anxious. People be so anxious to get a result right then and there. You have to have patience, you guys. Patience. And that's all that I have to tell you, is because when you pray and know that your situation will change, but you're not leaning on the Most High God. You're leaning on your own understanding. When you rushing it, you can't rush God. God timing is different, and His timing is always perfect. That's why I say, you want to live in a perfect will. You want to live in God's perfect will for your life. Do you want to live in God's perfect will for your life, or do you want to lean onto your own understanding and go about whatever you think that is right for your life? You got to know the difference. So once you start understanding the difference, you'll start understanding this is what life's supposed to be like. Not how I want it to go. You didn't create yourself. You didn't create yourself. Your mother and daddy, your mother and daddy, yeah, they might have sex, but God still created you in that womb. He made it possible for you to be on this earth right now. When He created man and He created woman, He did that. Satan didn't do it. Satan didn't do it. God did. Throughout the Bible, it tells you that God is our Lord and Savior. God is our creator. It says it in the Bible. I don't know about that satanic book that people be reading, but what that says, don't want to know, because I don't feel that. I don't feel that. I don't understand what that is. And I just know that the the Holy Bible, I know about that. I don't know nothing about that satanic book, that big book or whatever it is, and all them signs and all that stuff. I don't know about that. I don't know. I just follow what I follow. I can't make nobody believe what I believe. Can't make nobody believe what I believe. You have to have your own belief system. When you start having your own belief system, then that shows your character. It shows your character. And for me, it does. It might not show. It might not be. It might be a different belief on what other people think. But for me, it shows your character. Wanna know why? Because that's why I say you got to know a person by their fruit. By their fruit. So when you start knowing a person by their fruit, you'll know exactly who you're following, and who are you connected to. When you connected to somebody with when you connected to somebody that does satanic stuff and demonic stuff, then birds of the feather flock together. So if they in it, you're in it too. That's why I say three is a crowd. Three is a crowd. So if it's you and somebody else, and you know that they do black magic, they do this voodoo and all that stuff, and you in that group, or you in that crowd, birds of the feather flock together, and y'all all flopping together. You understand that? It's not just one person. Just because one person do it out the group and all that stuff, and this and that, and you know about it, then therefore you as guilty as that person also. That means if a person in a group, y'all all go, but y'all already know that in your mind, you already know that this person is going to go rob this bank. This person is going to go rob this bank, but we all gonna go, but we're gonna watch out for that person, because that person he's gonna go in there to rob the bank, but we gotta watch out. Birds of the feather flock together. So if y'all are actually committing this crime, well, if you know that this person is committing a crime, but you just on standby in case anything happened, so you can give a report to the person that's in there robbing the bank. Well, come on, man, we gotta go. You just as guilty as that person, because you going down as you was in the crime too. It's called something crime. Right now I can't think. It's called. I think of it in a minute. But right now, but at the end of the day, that's how people gotta understand. Like, if one person do it and you follow behind that person that's doing it, you just as guilty as that person also. You just as guilty as that person also. So if you know that this person is doing this and that person is doing that, then you falling behind that that leadership, and what that person is doing, you doing it too. You might not be physically doing it. You might not be physically doing it, but you're doing it. Just because that leader is leading you in the same destruction. Yes, that leader is leading you in the same destruction, that you just think that, okay, well, it's not like that. Just because what they do don't make me do it. I never heard that story before. And it comes from my experience. Like, just because they do drugs don't mean I have to do drugs. But then that bad behavior rubs off on the next person, because at the end of the day, I didn't know. I knew about drugs, but I didn't want to take drugs. I seen all my friends doing drugs. And so I just sat there and just looked at them. You know what I'm saying? I seen them doing it. They looked like they was having fun. They was, enjoying themselves. So that's where curiosity kills the cat. When you're curious about something, it makes you start doing it. You understand what I'm saying? So don't never think that just because they doing it, because we always say just because they doing it, don't makes me do it. Oh yeah, it'll rub off on you. It will rub off on you. It sure will. It might not rub off right then and there, because it took me a whole year to do that drug. You understand? Because I watched them for years doing cocaine. I watched them for years doing cocaine, and I used to blow the cocaine off the plate, everything, because I didn't appreciate them doing it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like they should be doing drugs. I used to blow it off the plate, everything, all that. But then one day I decided, I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it on your birthday. And it was the birthday is and God can strike me down one day. I mean, right now. And their birthday was September 18th. Today is the September 17th. I started doing drugs on September 18th. I don't know what year. I don't know what year, but I started doing drugs on September 18th because it was their birthday. And I said, you know what? That year, I said, you know what? I do it on your birthday next year. If the Lord said the same, I said, I do this drug, I'll try this drug with you on your birthday. But I was the type of person that I did not like nothing to go up my nose. I didn't like nothing to go up my nose. But I said, I'll try with you on your birthday next year. That year that came, September 18th, I tried it with them. I tried it with them. And my reaction was to that drug. I hit that drug I hit that drug up my nose, and I hit like 3 lines. I hit like 3 lines, and I sat back and I said, "Ooh, I like this feeling." And I was a drug addict. I became a drug addict just because somebody else is doing it. Yeah. You can have a very, very strong mind. But if you see somebody doing something, and it look like they having a real, real good time, you can be easily influenced in your because don't nobody have to influence you. Your mind can influence yourself. Your mind can influence you to do exactly what that person is doing. You got to understand that you have a mind of your own. You have a mind of your own. When you start understanding that you have a mind of your own, then you will become somebody. You can't follow behind everybody. Everybody don't smell good back there. For real, everybody don't smell good back there. And so you gotta know that and a lot of people walk around like they don't stink. But a lot of people don't smell good back there. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people don't smell good back there. And that's the God's honest truth. So just know that birds of the feather flock together. So what will today brings? What would today brings? How would you know what today brings if you don't pray? If you don't pray and leave it to the Most High God and let Him take care of your situation, how would you know what life will brings today? Well, what will today brings? Because we're living in it now. We can't worry about tomorrow. And I tell you that all the time because tomorrow will do what? Tomorrow will take care of its own problems. Okay? So, you guys, I am out. And